Craig and Brian seemed really happy when I pulled the car in. And I wanted it to be a moment where they saw the car moving, not just walking up to a car that they've been looking at all their life sitting in a garage. I thought if it came to them, you know, the car's alive. And that's the moment I wanted them to see it for the first time moving under its own power. And it was pretty cool to be the one to be able to do that for them. They had never seen it move. You know, from the time that when they were born, it was after their father had parked the car. So the only time they ever saw it move was when we pushed it out of the garage and put it on a trailer and hauled it out of their home. But this time they saw it living for the first time and moving and pulled into the driveway, and it was just smiles. It was very cool. We also brought Joji and Barry and Brett down, which are George Barris's family. And I wanted to bring them together because, you know, George hasn't been with John and his brother since 58 or whenever they saw each other last, but the car's been sitting for 50 years. I thought it'd be really cool to bring them together and let them go for a ride. And I just wanted to see what they would have to say to each other, because it's the son of the owner with the daughter of the builder. And I just wanted them to share a moment with the car before we sell it. Joji, this is Craig.
So great to see
Hello.
you guys.
The son
So
of the
nice to
owner.
meet you.
Hi, I'm Craig. Very nice to meet you.
Oh my gosh. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, when nobody realizes how important it is, you got to see them in person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so impressive. And look at the design. It still looks good to this day.
Been sitting in our garage for 50 years.
Oh, well, actually a good garage, because look how well it came out.
Well, it sat in there longer, but it sat unmoved for 50 years.
Correct. Yes. Yep.
My dad, having his hands on it and watching Chip be involved with it, has been a really special experience. I'm so excited to be part of this segment, and it's really important for people to know what and how cars started from stock to customization with pure manual labor and some talent and great ideas. And I'm so glad that we can share this legacy with the world. And the car looks so gorgeous.
Thanks, you guys, I had to come and see this
Yeah,
with my own eyes, because when you're a little girl in a shop all day, you know, it's neat to see stuff, you know, progress, and then
What year were you born?
I
You don't have to say it on camera. Here, you can tell me.
60s baby, a 60s baby.
So this has been around
flower power, yeah.
longer than you
Yep.
have been.
Yes.
Same with me. I grew up with my father and Gene Winfield and going to shows and seeing George Barris there. And I've known George for as long as I can remember. And I don't remember the first time that I met Joji. It seems like I've known her all my life. And I know that she knew of this car because it's in the books and in the magazines, but she had never seen it in person. And it was just really cool to bring the two families together and let them share the Oldsmobile living.
So those are the hubcaps? Are they?
Those are the original hubcaps. We
just
re-chromed them.
Re-chromed them, yeah, because.
Now, I got a reproduction set, but their shape is different,
Okay.
and they don't fit the new wheels.
Oh, gotcha.
So I had those re-chromed. You remember how bad they were.
Oh, they were really bad, yeah.
But when this car was originally picked up from Barris, they were silver just like that.
Got it.
That's how the 50, because I'm assuming in 58, these are a 58 hubcap. They bought brand new hubcaps to put them on. Later, they were painted candy red over the top.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Is what I believe happened. But I like to put them back just the way that George delivered the car,
Right.
so we put them back. I know the sides,
Right.
the
These-
little side pipes,
Yep.
those weren't on it originally. They were put on later, but I put them back on because I like the fact that it makes the car look a little lower.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
And
those,
it was lowered, I think.
oh
I
yeah,
was
it's
reading,
lowered
yeah.
a lot.
It's cool.
But the chrome was so bad on them, I re-chromed those and the hubcaps. Everything else is the way it was.
Yeah.
Did you replace the rim then?
I bought new wheels and tires. I have the original wheels and tires, which are in great shape, but at over 50 years old, I didn't want to drive on those.
Yeah.
So we have these, and when somebody buys a car, we'll give them the original wheels and tires, just in case it goes to a museum or something.
Well, I got to see the segment on YouTube, and it was like, how the heck did they find this car? It's so unique, and it's really important because when you find these Barris cars, they're becoming a rare thing, but they're modified. And it was just, I love that they really brought out the story and how they covered it, and piece by piece, because really it's such a rare find to find a fully customized car with the customizers that are on it, Dean Jeffries that are on it, the taillights, the headlights, to see the paint that's still intact. It's just amazing. I really like that they're going to keep it original. It is really a history piece that no one should touch, and it's a rare find.
I really like that you're pushing to not touch this car, and it's really great that the family kept it so, in a garage that really preserved it.
Yeah,
But,
because like I
mean-
say, I don't know of any other 50s Barris Customs that are what was delivered.
I mean, look what they were doing. That's when I was raised. My dad said, "I don't want to hear the word can't come out of your mouth," because look what they had these ideas and they had nothing to go on, and they went against everything normal, and to lower, chop, do these headlights, and you can imagine the flack they must have got. Like, oh, that's not going to look good, or how can you do that? And he just doesn't live like that.
This industry grows by what everybody does. Somebody builds something, it inspires somebody to build something else. And this is the beginning of hot rodding and customizing. And this is why we have the industry today. So it's so cool for me to go back and see how it was built back then. Like, it was just making something cool and different and unique and personalizing it. And, just like even the engine compartment, it's not stock. With the supercharger, and the supercharger works now. Everything works, but the pinstriping,
I
all
don't
this
know,
stuff,
let me
the
tell
fact
you
that it was
something.
Jeffries is really cool to me.
The older stuff is so cool, and look at the look. It just has its own unique look, and I think it's been standing the test of time. The stuff he did was just ahead of its time, but it just had that pop and that excitement to it that I love the reaction from people. But to watch you, be involved with this, I get emotional just to see like your family, our family, their families. It brings, our family stories together and our memories together. But it's awesome that you're involved, and I just love that you're respecting the history and you're educating and bringing it to people to understand.
It starts with them as well.
Yeah.
They kept it
Yeah,
in the
just seeing
garage.
the photos of, your dad and my dad and my uncle and Dean Jeffries working on the car in some of those magazines and stuff is pretty cool to think, okay, how long ago was that? Like well before I was born.
None of us were around.
And yet now we're talking, 50, 60 years later, and we're all sitting here together in Huntington Beach looking at this that they created. I didn't have anything to do with it, But just being a part of that story is really, really cool. And Brian and I were talking, just cruising around thinking we're the cool cats. Just think of what, my dad and my uncle, when they had this thing done, and they were probably over at Central
70
Washington
years ago.
Yeah, Central Washington University, cruising for chicks, probably thinking like, this thing is awesome. Just thinking they're the, like I said, the coolest cats in the, in the state. So.
This was under the seat.
Oh, oh yeah. Look at that. Jim Beam.
And check out the
This says this whiskey is 5 years old. And when?
Is this what made you so tall, drinking this stuff? Give me some of
No.
that. Give me
the
some
bottles.
Is there a date on here?
It's a 63 bottle.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh.
Doesn't surprise me. My dad, he wasn't a big drinker, but, every once in a while I'd open the liquor cabinet and you'd see, either a Jim Beam or some horrible wild turkey or something that, no kid's ever going to want to taste. So to see that bottle there just kind of made me think, oh yeah, definitely probably from his college years.
And then there's a
receipt?
no, there's a tag in here. Let me grab it. For a French dip sandwich, rare beef, 65 cents for a sandwich.
Wow.
That was your dad's lunch.
Yeah,
Well,
that's pretty cool. Look at that. Notice it's empty. You didn't finish it, did you?
Of course.
I always knew my dad had a bit of a partier in him in his past. I never saw that part of him, but that proves it.
so it must be neat to be working with Chip on this.
Oh, yeah. Just never thought in a million years that we'd post it online and get a call from Chip like that.
That is emotional for me because so many things that we do together, we're all so busy, families involved, so you know what you're compromising with families because your dad's working long hours, but to see him just go over that car, he's so confident, the quality of his work is beyond perfection, and to just see how he appreciates it, and it shows like, hey, we were inspired by this, and this is, it gives me chills. It really is the real story, because, we all had to learn from something, and then find ourselves, and look what he's come today. He's on self-made person, like my dad's background, but he's brought it even more extreme.
You've got the history, you've got all original, nobody's touched it.
No,
I mean, this is
you
going to be
you
very
just cleaned it.
amazing to have a car like this in your collection.
Yep. Well, I think Craig ought to take you for a ride around the block.
Oh, really?
Craig,
And with the top down?
you want to take her for a ride?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, it's nice and spacious.
Okay, we're going to go nice and slow.
Let that e-brake off.
I can't believe how good it sounds.
I know.
These are my good memories with my parents, is cruising in their car.
Oh, yeah?
I'm really getting emotional right now, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I noticed you were getting a little bit choked up a couple times.
I know it was just, we were raised with that passion, and we know the work involved, and cruising was fun, car shows was fun. It brings so many people together, but it takes a lot of work. So I appreciate, that you guys, it's just that it stays untouched like this is amazing.
Well,
I
it's just...
wore my mother and father's wedding ring. I like to bring them with me when I do stuff, and it was designed off the air car he did back in the 50s.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, okay, they got to come cruising with us. Thanks for sharing this.
Oh, absolutely. No, just to, like we were kind of saying earlier, just the story of how, this car came to be and everything your family has done, and then to have us be a part of it through something my dad and my uncle did, 50 some odd years ago. It's just amazing for, I wish my younger brother could be here. My younger brother, Darren, he lives in Texas and he couldn't make the trip, but just,
But he'll see it.
He'll see it.
He'll see it, and it was really cool, just to be able to cruise in the car and stuff, and back in the day, reading the story about your dad and his brother, I love that they were together and they sought out the Barris brothers.
Yep.
And that was like, hey, we want them to put their hands on this.
Yep.
And it sounds like everybody worked together, whatever you have a budget or not.
Yeah.
We want to do this because we want to do this.
Yep.
And we believe in what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's what drove people then, and that's what continued to, spark up your unique individuality designed for your ride.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I wonder,
that's what's so cool.
I wonder when my dad and my uncle, when they brought this car down to him, did they sit down and say, all right, George and, team, what do you think we should do to it? Or do you think they had options? Or who picked out the candy apple red? And
Yep.
like who, and then was it collective, or did your dad, did George just say, hey, I got an idea for taillights, and I got an idea for this, and I got an idea for that? And I wonder, my dad and my uncle are probably like, knowing them as I do, they're probably like, that sounds great.
Think of their personalities, because
Yeah.
he's got a. I know he loved working with everybody that would bring them cars.
Yeah.
But he had to give them ideas that are like, we're going to alter your whole look.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you get somebody to agree to that?
Yeah.
But with his personality and the way he would get so passionate about his ideas and designs, I do think that they were very much involved, and they probably had to say yes and no.
Yeah.
And it gave a great look. I mean, this is also lowered too.
Yeah.
So after you're doing all this custom work to fenders and bumpers and taillights, you're lowering it and giving it that cool look. So
Yeah.
they must have been very cool too, to just be so pioneer and daring to like say, hey, here you go.
Yeah.
Crazy customizer. Oh, it has blinkers and everything too. Yeah.
Oh, I probably should.
Oh,
I don't feel like using blinkers.
oh, this is a shifter right here.
Yeah, there we go.
It's not
Yeah, it looks
bad.
like they work.
Look at the
All right.
glove box.
Maybe next time I'll get up here and I'll actually use the blinker.
It's so neat that Chip like those digging and finds things and more things. It just kind of relates you to.
Well, I never thought, that I would, post it, just trying to go, what are we gonna? Because my brothers and I, we thought about it, because my father passed away in 2012, so. We didn't know what to do with it. We knew how special it was, but we didn't know what to do with it. And so, just to learn and generate some interest, we posted it, and to get Chip's call was just a blessing, just an absolute blessing.
This is an extremely special find, but it's just really, but to see, to understand your dad
Yeah.
in a different way, not the dad way. Like,
Right.
This is
The
who
cool
he
cat
was.
way.
This is who he was.
Yeah.
That's what's really awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, we're back here.
We're back.
Love it.
Had no idea we were going to be meeting, George Barris's daughter, and she's a character, and she's got a lot of stories, and we took it out for a drive and got to just kind of talk about what it was like, because you see in the photos in the book, you've got her dad there with my dad and my uncle, and they're sitting there working on the car, and you're just wondering, like, what were those conversations like? What were they talking about? Were they, trying to figure out if they were gonna, change the fenders this way or the taillights that way, or what, It's just kind of interesting and exciting to kind of think what the creative process they went through, and what they were talking about.
Okay, so this is the tech book. My dad would do all his techniques and do different like flame scallops, paneling, and striping. This is the book that your dad and his brother is in. And I wanted you to have an autographed copy for you guys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I have my little certificate, so he signed it. So to keep him out of trouble, he would be working later on, and we have to keep him busy because he would get in trouble. So we make him autograph all these books. But thank you for sharing
That's
this
right there.
time with me.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The 53, but I think it starts here.
Yep.
Which is awesome, but I just love seeing your dad and your uncle.
Well, it's important to me to, keep the legacy with the right type of stories and the history. And I took pride in having my dad personally autograph things. So I wanted them to have their own book with my dad's autograph in it, or, items that relate to that time period, because I know it's important. People just, goes with the car. The car has its own little suitcase with, the items that pertain to how it became that Barris design.
The car's signed on the hood, but it's also signed on the bottom of the spare tire cover.
Oh, really?
When it was on the lift, you can see it when you look up at it.
Oh, wow.
See? He was involving your dad.
Oh, very
He was
much
involved.
so, yeah.
See? And he always
What's
loved to
crazy is,
document.
my dad and my uncle are identical twins, and we can't tell them apart in virtually any photo.
Yeah.
One's the bad one, one's the good one.
You're right.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, he did hand autograph these. And then, of course, we love these. This is the crest that's on your car.
Oh,
and this
very-
is for your garage.
Oh, that's great.
And
that.
I wanted to give this to Chip. I already gave you yours from the 50s. These little paint labels.
Oh, thank
and
you so much.
emblems you can put on your windshield.
That's cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That is
thank
incredible.
you. Thank you for sharing this story to the world, and to have Chip do it really, it just confirms the stuff that was going on
back in the day, especially with my father, because a lot of times they would say, George didn't work on a car. I'm like, oh, he didn't?
Yeah, he worked.
You know.
We got
he worked.
photographic evidence.
He
right
was a
there.
relentless promoter, but you didn't have Facebook then, so. But this is what's cool is being in a garage. That's how I was brought up. You know, we had to get out the broom and clean and help and be part of the team. It's about team. It's
Yep.
about the team.
Well,
So
thank you for coming down. Thank you for being a part of this. We were really excited to share it with you.
it's awesome. It's awesome to actually see it and drive it.
Wish your dad,
Drive.
wish your dad was here.
Okay, we need you to customize the Batmobile, but don't say that.
What do you want to do to it?
Well, starting with the molds on the glass for
Yeah.
those bubble tops, we need that done.
Aircraft
getting a-
windshield can do that.
Yeah,
You're looking for
did
somebody?
you get that name?
Yeah, aircraft windshield.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit, foggy
Yeah?
on those.
Yeah, we
so-
can redo that.
But we love it. So thank
Cool.
you, Chip.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the gifts.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Oh, you guys. Can I drink the water in Washington so I can grow up a little bit? I don't know what's happening.
I know.
I'm shrinking.
We spent, a ton of time, me and my two brothers spent a ton of time with my dad in the outdoors. I mean, we were all Eagle Scouts and he was our scoutmaster for, over a dozen years. And so we had so much, activities to do with our dad that we never totally got, a time to sit down and work on the car. And my dad was always working too, trying to make a living and provide for, a family, a wife and 3 kids aren't inexpensive. So, we never got that opportunity to redo the car or, get the car running again. And so to now, be able to experience that definitely kind of brings it full circle, even though our dad's, not with us anymore. I guarantee he's looking down and just smiling. And the fact that we get to do it, brings us closer to, as a family with my brother and, my younger brother. We're sending him all the videos and everything. And, Darren, we wish he was here, but he's, got a baby on the way and he's got a lot of things going on right now. So, yeah, definitely the connection is there for sure.
Well, it's a crying shame you don't even know my name. But every time you pass me by, girl, it makes me wanna cry. It's a crying shame. I go inside and close the door because I just can't take no more. Oh, baby, what you do to me? These are all I ever see. It's a crying shame. If you were mine, there'd be no crime. My dreams come true if I could only get a chance with you. I saw you with another man, and you were walking hand in hand. Time has proven I was tears. Now I'm drowning in my tears. It's a crying shame. If you were mine, there'd be no crime. My dreams come true if I could only get a chance with you. I saw you with another man, and you were walking hand in